a concept that has no limit. People talk about it from academia to streets and their homes. Every major, from arts to law and physics, are involved with the concept of beauty. And no matter how old or young you are, you always think and appreciate beauty. And that's why Oscar Wilde wrote a book about beauty, and today we are going to discuss that. The book's name is The Picture of Dorian Gray. Hi, my name is Nazanin, and here we discuss books. The Picture of Dorian Gray is a book written by British author Oscar Wilde. This book was and has always been a controversial book because it talks about topics such as homosexuality, which used to be a taboo. This book still is a controversial book. Why? The Picture of Dorian Gray is still a controversial book because it touches on topics like corruption of beauty, and not by the normal moral codes and virtues like lies and betrayals. But to put it better, in this book, every person who reads it has a different perception of what corruption is. Or in other words, every person perceives the corruption the way the corruption is inside that person. I think that's very cool. I think Dorian Gray was epitome of playboy. Like, let's take a look at evolution of Dorian Gray. At first, he was a young innocent boy who was unaware of his charm and helped in charities without taking pride on his beauty. But after noticing and figuring out his beauty and knowing that he could get away with everything without any responsibility, he totally changed. That was where allegedly he fell in love, but actually he was in love. I'm gonna talk about that very soon, so wait for that. He lost his morality and conscience. He knew he would be adored from one person to another. So what's the difference anyway? As far as I'm concerned, the characters in this book were impeccable. No character is wasted, so why not start talking about the love interest, aka Sybil Wayne. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, I don't know what's the right pronunciation. I was genuinely happy for Dorian when he confessed he was in love. Not because I'm the romantic type, but because I thought he could be redeemed. And actually, I have another reason for that, and the way they compliment and they describe their loves to each other was very good, which I will get into that later. And when the love interest acted very bad on the stage for very dumb reason, I was shocked by Dorian's reaction. I mean, I should have seen that coming. He wasn't in love with the girl. He was in love with the face of perfection. Honestly, I was so mad when Spiel begged Dorian to not leave him. I don't know if it was for the misogynistic reasons or it was the attitude they had back then for fighting for your love, but I think she should have let go and kept her dignity. Be careful what you wish for. Dorian was enamored by the picture of him, to the point that he was jealous of that, and he wished that the picture aged instead of him. Age is a reflection of what we experience throughout the years. So basically, by not wishing to age, the picture had to endure every shame, sin, and guilt that Dorian's face should have felt and experienced. I want to know your definition of age. Comment down below. So Dorian wished for unchanging visage of himself, but it wasn't his idea, at least at first. He was under the influence of Lord Henry, But before talking about Lord Henry's influence, let me know what would you do if you had the same picture as Dorian Gray. To put it better, what would you do if you had a picture of yourself that altered every time you did something good or bad and your face just stayed the same? And subscribe for the next part that I'm going to talk about the whole ending of this book. Lord Henry is one of the most influential characters in the literature world. However, Wilde didn't explain why Lord Henry was the one who pushed Dorian to the edge of corruption. But I think that ambiguity was deliberate and the author wanted to leave that to the imagination of the reader. We discussed how Lord Henry was a bad influence. But does it necessarily mean that he was a bad friend? After all, he was the one who stayed with Dorian when he found out about Sybil's passing away. I personally think of him as someone corrupt and bad, the type that I wouldn't be friends with. But I can't make up my mind that if he was the reason of Dorian's Gray breaking bad or he was just an accelerator. What do you think? What's your opinion on that? I'm at the 1/3 of my notes about the book called The Picture of Dorian Gray, so don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and comment down below the other books that you have read from Oscar Wilde or if you are going to read The Picture of Dorian Gray, and see you very soon in the next part. Bye for now.